which he can have back. You're not walking away from me, buddy. You're not walking away from me. You're not walking away from me. Hey, what are you doing? Excuse me, don't walk away from me. You can have this back. Don't you try and run me over, mate. Don't you dare. You're running over my foot right now. Back off. You're on my toe. Look at this. He's run. Get off my fucking toe. You're moving forward. Back up. Get off my toe. You are. Get off of my toe. You evil man. You're being done for assault.
Hey you guys. Right. This is about the IPCA complaint from Neil Winterbottom. I have in front of me all of the correspondence that I have had with regards to Neil running over my foot. First off, I'm going to read you every bit of it. First off, we have a response, which also includes my initial complaint that I sent via the IPCA website on the 7th of January. Okay. The response I got at the top was, "Thank you, your complaint has been received, we'll be in touch. If you have any questions, you can contact the authority's complaints management team by emailing inquiries@ipca.govt.nz or phoning toll-free on 0800 503 728. Right, my response, well, this is the alleged complaint. After Neil failed to gain joinder between myself, a man, and a person, be it natural, legal, corporation, sole body, corporate or unincorporated body, and after threatening to kidnap myself via an unlawful arrest, he stated I was not free to go. As I attempted to argue, clarify, further, he became more forceful after stating he believed I had broken the law, and then stating he believed that he had authority over I, a man. An error on his part. He proceeded to play with his electronic device. He then attempted to deposit some paper onto my property under the wiper. As Neil had stated, we can talk about it further after he had finished, and I clearly had not learnt how dishonourable he was from himself running away exceeding speed limits 2 months prior. Neil attempted to run away again, without answering any of my questions. I removed the paper he had deposited onto my property and proceeded to give chase on foot to return his papers. During which time he was reversing at pace towards and onto Muriwai Road, a very busy main road and in my opinion a very dangerous manoeuvre. While he had stopped reversing and was stationary, I walked up to the front of the right side of his unmarked police vehicle and proceeded to give him back papers under his wiper blade, just as he had done to myself moments earlier. While leaning slightly over the front right-hand side of the vehicle, placing the papers, Neil attempted to scare me away from the vehicle by revving the engine and shunting myself forward. I verbally told him not to run onto my foot, to which he revved again, rolling onto the top of my big toe, trapping my foot under his tyre. At this point I began to get extremely alarmed and distressed, and screaming for him to get the fuck off my foot. To which he jumped out of the vehicle and began to say, "I'm not on your..." Then realised that he was, got back into the vehicle and reversed. Once free, I ran back to my property to give chase, as the man had just assaulted me with a motor vehicle over a non-existent offence, whatever that is. As he must have taken School Road, the first road on the right, to avoid school traffic tripping him, he managed to run away again. Once home, I suffered somewhat of a meltdown in front of my wife, who immediately noted something was wrong, as I could not believe that a fellow man had used a 2-ton vehicle to assault me. I wrote a letter to Mike Bush. No reply. I called 0800 Crime Stoppers to see whether they thought Neil's use of force was justified, to which Melvin agreed that it was not. As my wife is wheelchair bound and I suffer from trigeminal neuralgia and ice-pick migraines. With 3 kids over the holidays, I have been somewhat busy. To this being constantly, I've been somewhat busy due to my lack of taking action until now. I still fear more harassment should I go physically to the local police station to discuss the matter, and now have lost faith whatsoever that anything will be done. However, as it is now 2:50 in the morning, and I cannot sleep due to this being constantly on my mind. I truly appreciate the hard work that all the members of mankind do for New Zealand as constables. However, this is not on, and if I am not satisfied with the outcome, I shall seek private prosecution against Neil and the New Zealand Police. I am more than happy to forgive my fellow man for his trespass. Right, so then it says, supporting information. Please provide information relevant to your complaint. Please note that the authority will assess the complaint and consider further actions on this basis, or based on this. And what I've done is I have supplied a shitload of links of the videos that are up there. The links are of 21st of November 2014, harassed, trespassed and assaulted by Neil Winterbottom. New Zealand Police, 2nd of September 2014, Senior Constable Neil Winterbottom, Part 1, The Stop. Part 2, Senior Constable Neil Winterbottom, driving dangerously, running away from me. The 26th of November, where I had sent a letter to Mike Bush ordering and demanding answers. There was a link to the 28th of November where I call Crime Stoppers, both parts of that one. Now it says complaint resolution. Please tell us how you would like to see your complaint resolved. I've put here a written apology or acknowledgement that it was not okay to shove a man with a motor vehicle for starters. What would you expect? And then I've added after that, my toe hurt like a bitch for 3 days, and I am still not sleeping well 7 weeks later. Offer? And then the final caption I've put, no trust at all in New Zealand Police, and will not stop until safe. It will not stop again until safe from possible wrongdoing. In other words, I'm not stopping for any flashing lights. I'm going to drive home first. So that's that. Now, the email I supplied had issues. They couldn't respond to me via the email. So what they did is they sent me a letter, which I've got here. It was from Senior Sergeant Bill Russell of the North Shore Policing Centre. It says, re-complaint file IPCA 12-1245/RJT. That's their reference number. Dear Mr. Keane, the Independent Police Conduct Authority has referred your complaint to the police to investigate. The matter has been assigned to me for investigation. My role is to oversee the Waitemata District Highway Patrol and the Serious Crash Unit. The officer you complained of comes under my control. So if you are uncomfortable with this, please advise me, so that another supervisor will be assigned. I have read your email dated the 7th of January 2015 and viewed your YouTube videos. However, there is insufficient detail for me to properly interview the officer that you have complained of. I would be grateful if you would provide me a detailed account of the matters pertaining to the alleged harassment, harm, injury and distress. If you have any documentary evidence of the injury, I would also appreciate a copy for the file. Once I have sufficient information, I will be able to commence the investigation. I also note that your email address does not appear to work, which I corrected. If you prefer to contact by this method, please advise me your preferred email address. And then it just says, thank you. And then it's got Senior Sergeant bullshit underneath it. Okay. And so started the correspondence between myself and Bill. Greetings, Russell. Note, I cannot answer for you, only me, myself and I Should thou address myself as you, I will presume you, Russell, are referring to me. Thank you for your letter, which is undated in reference to the above IPCA complaint which I received today on the 23rd of January 2015. Russell, you state the officer you complained of comes under my control. Are you inferring that you may have a conflict of interest in dealing with this matter? I require you to uphold your oath and to act impartial in this matter. Confer to the Policing Act 2008, Section 22. As a constable, will this be a problem for you, Russell? Who do I hold liable for Senior Constable Neil Winterbottom's actions on the 21st of November 2014? Would that be yourself, Russell? As you stated, he comes under your control, in brackets jurisdiction. You state, I have read your email dated the 7th of January and viewed your YouTube videos. However, there is insufficient detail for me to properly interview the officer that you have complained of. Quote unquote. I require you to identify which detail you are requesting. Please clarify. I would be glad to provide yourself with any detail you wish, if you could please specify. As the entire interaction was recorded, is there a particular detail you are unsure of? The harassment due to Neil's taunting over getting his name incorrect when attempting to correspond via registered post, or was it the mail fraud to which Neil clearly admitted knowledge of which had been occurring? None of which had anything to do with the matter at the moment in time. Perhaps the threatening to unlawfully arrest myself, who he believed to be Mr. Keane. Was it his incorrect statement that he believed he had authority over I, a man? Or the statement that he didn't even know who you are, when clearly he identified you as Constable Neil Winterbottom straight away? Neil failed to answer my simple questions such as, what is an offence? When asked for clarification, Neil failed to produce a certified accuracy when required, a certificate of accuracy when required. The entire interaction with Neil was within a supposed 100 km/h area, so please explain how an alleged 75 km/h within a 100k area is wrong. Russell, do you believe if I had rolled my property onto Neil's foot while he placed some paper under my wiper, would it have been classed as vehicular assault? As you mentioned, the injury was to my big toe, which caused myself pain for a few days. The emotional stress over having a fellow man use a vehicle as a weapon to shove and scare me also was quite distressing. Are you requesting a medical report of the injury? The evidence is clearly shown on the video released on YouTube. Russell, you can contact myself on my home number. I noticed you have supplied an extension number but no actual phone number, and also have an error in the postcode which I supplied. And I've given him the correct one for him to correct. I question what an independent police conduct authority would get. I question why an independent police conduct authority would get a member of the police to investigate another member of the police. Where is the independence? I would appreciate you calling myself at your earliest convenience. Currently, if I wish to go from point A to point B, I shall not stop for any police vehicle due to fear of further harassment, coercion and intimidation. Do you, Russell, believe Neil's driving onto my foot to be acceptable? There is no alleged about it, to be clear. Neil trespassed upon my property without the right to do so, namely, my right as a man to do as I wish. Rights are a subset of property, and property equals that which is exclusive to any individual within any given society. I claim Neil caused myself alarm and distress through threats and attempted coercion. I claim Neil caused myself harm and injury to my foot. Neil stated legal terms. I am not a member of the New Zealand Law Society, nor am I legally trained, or do I understand any legal terms, legal customs of said society, and therefore cannot possibly understand unless translated. I only wish for Neil to clarify. Instead, he has caused myself injury and distress, and then ran away after causing my harm. Neil's own actions provide evidence of his wrongdoing, as once he realised he was on my foot, he immediately got back into the vehicle and reversed off of it, freeing myself. I gave chase, however the man fled like a coward, now for the second time. Perhaps being asked questions scared him. I do not know and can only presume. Is it New Zealand Police's standard operating procedure, Russell, to make false allegations, trespass upon property, and lie? Although I hear that apparently legally police can. Neil also failed to state that a woman by the name of Celia Snowman does not work at Warkworth Police Station, 6 Falls Road in Warkworth, so why did this person sign for his correspondence I sent to him? Who is committing mail tampering? I have evidence to support this allegation. You may also try using this email, and I supply him another one. Should you wish to correspond via email, however, this is not checked very regularly, and I would appreciate any correspondence via writing or by phone, which the coward never did once. I would appreciate yourself taking the time to have an interview with myself should you require a detailed account, or at least state what is not clear about Neil's wrongdoing. Is an offence a wrong? Neil failed to answer this. Note also that at the time I stated I would gladly accept any order Neil gave, but unlike the September interaction, Neil did not make any order. Neither did Neil at any time state he was acting as an enforcement officer. Do you, Russell, believe otherwise? When a supervisor was required, he refused. Why? Can a legal request be declined? Is asking a question a refusal or failure? Do you believe Neil had authority and right over myself, a man? Do you believe I do wrong? Is an infringement a wrong? I have asked New Zealand Transport Authority, a representative named Tia Choi, and she has referred that question to the police to answer. That's why I'm asking you. I look forward to your reply, so don't be shy. Crikey, I'm a poet and didn't know it. Set up a time, I will gladly come to see you, as you are not permitted onto our family's private property, as there is no right-of-way or public access granted or implied. I look forward to your reply. I am curious as to why your supervisor, Mike Bush, has not responded to this matter, which I attempted bringing to his attention via mail on the 26th of November 2014. Have a great day, Russell. His response, dated 27th of January, at 5 to 9 in the morning. Hello, Mr. Keane. My role is to investigate the claims made by yourself against the police officer, namely harassment, harm, and distress, and injury. I have a duty to disclose that the officer concerned comes under my control. Dun, 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 dun. It may be that you see a perceived conflict of interest. If so, another investigator can manage the complaint. Please advise if you wish for me to continue or have this matter reassigned. Again, it's not for me to presume shit. If he believes he can't act impartial and uphold his oath, it's up to him to fucking do so. If the video footage of the incident is a full and unedited account of what took place, then I see no need to ask any further questions at this time. But for the sake of clarity, please confirm the YouTube video is full and complete and unedited. I would require some evidence of actual injury to your toe, such as medical documents, to support your claim. With reference to the other matters raised in your letters, they can be dealt with by the courts if you wish to pursue them. Thanks, Bill, or Senior Sergeant Bill Russell. Oh, that's him right there. See the extension number? Don't see the number. Don't see the name. Right, now, quoted. Now it's my response to Russell on the 28th of January at 20 past 8 in the morning. Hello again, Bill. As stated, I would be glad to supply yourself with a complete unedited version of the footage. Please define what you mean by actual. I am happy to verify my claim in a court of record, and I can supply a statement from my wife who also witnessed the injury. The harassment in regards to Neil's behaviour while acting in his official capacity. Why is it that you have not answered my questions, Bill, with regards to who I hold liable? What is an offence, legally speaking? Is it a wrong? Are you legally trained? Do you understand the question? The fact that you are his, Neil's, superior, I would have thought that would save any middleman. But as I stated, if you have a conflict of interest with dealing with this matter, say so. I do not. What is your direct dial number? I require you to supply a time for an interview as so I can properly relay to yourself, Bill, where I believe alarm, distress and harassment occurred. I ask yourself again, Bill, do you believe Neil's actions at that moment in time were acceptable? Being that the injury to my toe was minor, as I stated before, it hurt for 3 days, and ibuprofen did the trick. I did not get a medical treatment, nor seek advice from the police, as it was the police that caused the injury. The 0800 Crime Stoppers I spoke to did not suggest that at that time that I get a medical report. And as I was quite distressed by Neil and the alarm he had caused to myself, do you suggest I make a separate claim of male tampering to the police against Celia Snowman and Neil? As I have not had a reply from Mike yet, not that I expect one, is the standard operating procedure to ignore and it will go away. Please excuse the cynicism, as I have no faith whatsoever in those who are supposed to serve and protect instead of repress and enforce. I ask yourself again, Bill, at what point in time did Neil switch from being a constable to an enforcement officer? Have a great day. Me. Russell's reply on the 28th of January, mere half an hour afterwards. Hello, Mark. It's Mark now, not Mr. Keane. Thank you for the quick response to my email. If you could post a copy of the disc of the unedited video to my address, highlighted below, I would really appreciate it. The unedited video should then provide all of the information that I require to answer your complaint regarding the harassment, injury, harm and distress. In all other matters that you have raised, I would suggest that you get independent legal advice for the other questions you have raised. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for fucking not cooperating is my question, my statement. Alright. Dropping all my bits of paper. Okay. My response back to Russell the following day, 1:15 or 1:45 in the afternoon. 29th of January. Hi Bill. How do you class an investigation as complete without interviewing the complainant? I require, demand and wish an interview with yourself, Bill, as you are the investigator and believe you cannot gauge what had happened without actually hearing how Neil's actions have caused myself distress, emotional and physical harm, physical injury to my foot, which I can verify and supply witnesses of my limping due to his assault. I am very glad to supply a copy of the unedited recording along with actual evidence of the actual tyre on top of my actual toe, along with comparison shots for you to reference. Why is it that you cannot answer my simple questions, Bill? Are you unable or unwilling? Is there a conflict? As the Postal Service has proven to be faulty when dealing with the police matters, I would be glad to hand it to yourself, or leave it at the address you highlighted pending a signed receipt, of course, irrespective of it being registered post. It appears to me that you have been somewhat evasive to giving a straight answer. Why, Bill? I have also some notices for your records, which I wish to hand to yourself, Bill, but will simply add as attachments. So what time would suit you for us to meet, Bill? I have reviewed the Policing Act 2008, and have found no definition interpretation for enforcement officer, only constable. Confer Policing Act 2008, Section 4. The interpretation. Constable means a police employee who, A, holds the office of a constable, whether appointed as constable under the Police Act 1958 or this Act, and or B, includes a constable who holds any level of position within the New Zealand Police. No mention of enforcement there. Not that I can comprehend any of this legalese stuff. As it was Neil stating these words, it is not for me to define them. It is for you to. Are you stating I need to seek legal advice against Neil for assault? To prosecute himself and New Zealand Police privately? Are you supplying myself legal advice? As you have not stated whether you are legally trained, I need to have this act of legislation translated to myself. I am, after all, just an idiot legally. Do you believe Neil acted impartial? Had there been a breach of the peace? I believe Neil breached my peace. Do you, Bill, believe Neil acted in accordance with the Policing Act 2008 Sections 8D, 8E or 8F or Section 9A, also supplied? Confer those sections. In fact, I'll stick a slot in it here because I've actually got a picture for you. Okay. I look forward to meeting you. Regards, me. Note, Neil's invoice is still outstanding and he has stated he did not receive it, even though the woman silly as no man he is trying to shield himself with signed for the receipt of it. Why does he hide behind the receptionist? If she does actually work for the New Zealand Police. And I've sent pictures of my foot, the tyre, what my foot looks like inside and outside of the croc that I was wearing, so he can gauge whereabouts the toe was parked. Clearly on top of my big toe. I've also sent him a notice of my fee schedule, a notice of settle of debt. I sent him a copy of the Policing Act 2008. I sent him an invoice of Neil's. I sent him the notice of any errors, and I sent him a fair notice to the New Zealand Police in regards to the property, namely my car. His response is, and I got this on the 29th of January, in your email, hello Mark, in your email dated the 24th of January, you stated the following: I would be glad to provide yourself with any detail you wish if you could please specify, as the entire interaction was recorded in. Is there a particular detail you are aware of? If you could please provide an unedited copy of the entire interaction, there is no need at this time to interview you unless I need further clarification. I have viewed your recordings on YouTube, and while there has been some editing, there is enough evidence, or enough video evidence for me to consider. So there is evidence then. By asking for an unedited copy of the video recording, I can make an informed assessment about the need to get further information if needed. As previously stated, the focus of this investigation is solely on the harassment, injury, harm and distress. The other questions you have raised can be answered through independent legal advice. If you wish to provide a full unedited copy of the video, this can be done by leaving it at the Kumu police station. I respond, Hi Bill. Yes, I did state the entire interaction was on tape. However, do you expect the tape to show the emotional stress? Or perhaps is the tape going to provide a sworn statement? Bill, you stated on your undated letter which I received that I have read your email dated the 7th of January and viewed your YouTube videos. However, there is insufficient detail for me to properly interview the officer that you have complained of. How then is it now that all you require is the video clip? Perhaps a statement or an affidavit? Have you spoken to Neil Winterbottom in regards to this matter yet? You have not specified which detail you are missing, Bill. Did Neil report his fleeing to yourself after running away from causing myself injury? As you are his direct superior and he refused to contact yourself at the time when required to do so, Was this matter mentioned to yourself at all? What question do you believe I am asking that do not pertain to Neil's wrongdoing on that day? Why do you not wish to interview myself? How can a complete and thorough investigation be conducted without an affidavit from the complainant? I require a full, complete and meaningful explanation as to how an investigation is supposed to be conducted by yourself without such a thing as a victim impact statement. I shall drop in a disc to the Kumu station and only hope that I do not bump into Neil, as he may cause myself injury and harm and distress again. I will require you to confirm you have it in your possession once this is done. Do you understand? Note, I will record this for my records, as I do with any man acting in a public capacity, or woman acting in a public capacity. Do you require a particular format? Will MP4 be sufficient? I ask again, what is your direct dial number, Neil? Simple questions, Bill. Ask, what is your direct dial number, Bill? Simple questions, Bill. Why do you not answer them? And Russell responds, or Bill responds on the 29th of January at 11 o'clock. 29th of January was a busy day. Hello, Mark. Thank you for your intention to provide a full copy of the video. I will be able to view the video once received and then make an assessment of the need to gather more information or not. I appreciate you have a number of other questions, and these are best answered by independent legal advice. I will acknowledge the receipt of the video MP4 when I physically receive the disc. This stage of the inquiry is about getting the available facts, and I note that your reactions to stress were captured on video. Alright, so I'd just like to reiterate what he's just typed there. This is from the investigator. At this stage of the inquiry is about getting the available facts, and I note that your reactions to stress were captured on video. Okay, so he's noted that I was distressed and alarmed. No decision on the outcome can be reached or contemplated until I complete this phase. Getting all the facts will help determine the starting point for the investigation. Starting point? Thought we'd already gone past that bit. Currently, your complaint is stated as being suitable for minor complaint resolution. This means that the matter could be conciliated. Conciliation means a discussion or meeting between the police representative and the complainant. And may involve a resolution, including an apology if appropriate. I remain focused on the harassment, injury, harm and distress aspects of your complaint. Thank you again for your patience. That you were, at that point, testing. Hi Bill, I have sent you the disc and handed it in to Daniel. I think it was. I don't know what's happened there. There's something going on my printout. Monday, February the 2nd, 2015, 8:08 AM. Hello Mark, I now have your disc, so thank you for providing that to me. I hope to view it later today and then get back to you. Regards, SS Bill Russell. Now, Saturday, February the 7th, 5 days later. Hello Mark, the officer involved has been notified of the complaint that you had filed. I now need him to view the disc that you have kindly provided. That's 17 minutes Neil will never get back. The opportunity will occur next week. Unfortunately, I will be away on planned leave next week and will not be able to progress your file until I return in the first week of March. I respond, hi Bill, thanks for letting me know. I have, as you suggested, requested through the person for a court hearing to discuss Neil's unlawful actions on that day. Also, I have supplied yourself, as you are his superior, a copy of the video exhibits in regards to Neil's false allegations. As North Shore District Court have stated, Neil is the officer in charge. He too has been sent some questions relevant to the matter, along with a verifiable statement of facts from myself. There are a few inconsistencies in the statement of facts supplied by Neil with regards to his false allegations. He stated he required 6 times, yet not once did he require anything. At no time did Neil make a lawful order. He wondered, he requested, but did not require anything, as the video confirms. He stated identity confirmed, yes. Clearly, and yet clearly on the tape he states, I do not even know who you are. Which lie is he sticking to? After speaking to multiple people with legal training, they have suggested that I lay an assault charge against Neil, and also NZ Police for this violation against my rights and property. Enjoy your holiday, probably well deserved. I will be present for the hearing on the 17th of March 2015 at 10 AM on the North Shore District Court. As Neil, your subordinate, has failed to give any response to date, I shall see him in court, I guess. Perhaps then he will answer my questions. Note also that the notes made at the top by the time of the officer require an explanation. Words such as diversionary and obstructive, even the simple formation of a sentence in those comments seem nonsensical. Irrespective of the complaint I have made through the person, the man, not the officer, whom I refer to as Neil, did myself wrong, and has committed assault upon myself. Will something be done, or shall I seek private prosecution against himself in New Zealand Police? I note that Daniel Steele, who accepted the CD at Kumu, presumed to know who I was, yet I have never met him before. The police vehicle was left outside running for over 25 minutes, without anybody in it. Seemed somewhat poor. All has been recorded and shall be posted in the future for public scrutiny. I look forward to your response, either as an investigator or as Neil's boss. Either way, I wish for some answers and explanation for Neil's actions. Russell responds on Friday, March the 6th. Clearly he's back from holiday. Thank you for your time and patience on this matter. I have attached a letter which explains what has been done and the outcome in respect of your complaint. At this time, the file has been created and is being returned to our Professional Standards Unit for review. Hi Bill, thanks for letting me know. I have, as you suggested, requested through the person for a court hearing to discuss Neil's unlawful actions on that day. Also, I have supplied yourself, and as you are his superior, a copy of the video text in regards to Neil's false allegations. It was stated, false allegations on November 21, 2014. As North Shore District Court have stated, Neil is the officer in charge. He too has been sent some questions relevant to the matter along with a verifiable statement of facts from myself. Okay, and then he sends me this letter. Right, so here is the letter that he sent me. Okay, a big copy on it. It reads, Dear Mr. Keane, I have now completed my inquiries into your complaint of harassment, harm, injury and distress. My investigation was focused on the evidence that you provided in the form of a video disc in MP4 format, and the photographs of your foot, Croc shoes and screen grabs of the supplied video. No independent and documents reports from any health professionals were supplied. Video evidence. The video evidence was purportedly complete and unedited. I paid particular attention to your actions and comments. Really? You're supposed to be looking at Neil's actions and comments. And that of the officer in question. I also closely scrutinised the direction of the movement of the police patrol car, and conclude that the patrol car was not driven forward or injured your foot. Really? How did you come to that conclusion? Photographic evidence. The photographs were viewed, however they were modified on the 29th of January 2015, more than 2 months after you allege that you were injured. The photographs were not particularly clear, and this does make them somewhat unreliable and credible admissible evidence. Well, they were made on the 29th of January because I didn't file the complaint until the 7th of January, and I didn't supply the information until you asked, and I was doing you a common courtesy, Bill, and all you've done is insulted me. Independent witness, none identified. This matter cannot be taken any further and is classified as not upheld. Thank you for your patience in bringing this matter to our attention. A copy of this letter will be forwarded to the Independent Police Conduct Authority. The authority is entirely independent of the police. If you are dissatisfied, you should advise the authority in writing. And he's given me complaint.management@ipca.govt.nz, and he's giving me the address of to the Independent Police Conduct Authority, PO Box 25221, Wellington 6146. Alright? And that was received by email on the 6th of March. So that's what I got from Bill. He sent a letter off to the IPCA stating that I was not pleased with the outcome, that it was bias, and that I wanted some response. I got a response on the 11th of March. We acknowledge the receipt of your email dated the 9th of March, in which you say you are unhappy with the investigation into your complaint. You believe that the alleged vehicular assault did happen. You say that you have a video clip demonstrating this alleged assault. The authority would appreciate it if you could send this clip to the office so that we can make our own assessments of the situation. Once we have viewed the clip, we will be in contact with you again. And that was signed by a K. Irvine. Okay? There's the signature there. K. Irvine. Alright? And it says here, Dear Mr. King, correspondence attached. So that was the letter that was attached. I respond, Hello K. I am unsure as to how I should supply this video to yourselves, so I have uploaded a complete unedited copy to a YouTube channel for you to inspect. This can be found at, and I supply the YouTube link. As I have supplied a copy of the assault footage to Bill Russell via Daniel Steele at Kemu Police Station, I believe you should have no problem accessing it. Or do IPCA not have access to the evidence I have already supplied? My most pressing issue with all of the supposed independent authority is that it is not independent. Bill Russell, during my correspondence via email, which I have supplied already, was evasive. He failed to answer my questions. He failed to even conduct an interview with myself, the victim, even though I repeatedly asked for one. He did, however, manage to talk to Neil, the wrongdoer in the matter. As I did not want to ruin my entire family's Christmas and school holidays, I did not even make this complaint until late January. In doing so, I took evidential photos for comparative purposes of my foot. The footwear along with a screenshot of the police vehicle upon my foot. As I did this in January, Bill Russell has basically assessed this to be fabricated and has, in his divine wisdom, chosen to discredit it. I believe Bill has been anything but impartial in this matter, due to his position being that of Neil's supervisor. He has refused to even give myself a call to discuss my claims, even though affording Neil that option. After on leave for 3 weeks, he just insults my intelligence with his conclusion. I have mentioned this to a number of legal professionals, and the standard response is the police investigating the police about the police and then getting back to the police to let the police know whether the police did anything wrong unlawfully is just how it is in New Zealand. What the fuck? I will be seeking remedy through private prosecution should the IPCA not deal with this matter in a favourable manner. What does K in the name K. Irvine stand for? As I wish to know who I am dealing with. One can contact myself on either daytime home phone number or email. I leave this matter in your hands, K. Irvine, and look forward to hearing from you. As a side note, Bill seems to pay close attention to my own actions as opposed to the wrongdoer, Neil Winterbottom, and even seems to fit to judge my actions, which are not in question, nor his to judge. I was present at North Shore District Court on the 17th of March, and a not guilty plea was entered on behalf of the defendant in regards to Neil's 2 false allegations in relation to that day. James Gallagher at the North Shore Police Prosecutions has failed thus far to produce a signed sworn affidavit statement of fact from Neil, the witness, even though it has been required both verbally and in writing as per Rachel Allen, the Court Registrar of North Shore District Court's instructions. The defended hearing is on the 19th of May, 9:30 a.m, where I will be submitting video evidence rebutting Neil's unsworn statement supplied. I will thoroughly enjoy having Neil on the stand, where he will finally not be able to run away from my simple questions. I have several. Firstly, where do you, Neil Winterbottom, derive your authority over I a man? To date, I find his actions to be that of a coward, hiding behind the colour of law just to justify his unlawful actions. Have a fantastic day, Kay. Warm regards, me. So yeah, I hear nothing back for, when was that sent? That was sent on the 28th of March. I heard nothing back for over a month and a half, and the next chase up I give here is on Thursday, the May the 14th, to the Independence Police Conduct Authority. I have still not heard any response from yourself, K. Irvine. Please contact myself as I wish to know what is going on with regards to the aforementioned matter. Should I not hear from yourself within the next week, I shall start giving yourself a chase-up call or two. Not that it should be necessary. This call will be recorded for security purposes. What is the reason for the lack of response so far from the IPCA in general? Are there any problems that I may be of assistance? I look forward to hearing from you, Kay. Have a fantastic day. Me. Alright, so, and that was sent on the 14th of May. So, I got no response again for a couple of months. And then in the end, so we've dealt with Bill, we've dealt with whoever K. Irvine is, and then out of the blue I get an IPCA email dated the 16th of July from, and it says please refer to the attached letter, which I'll read to you shortly, and it is from Judge Sir David Carruthers, and it refers to this letter. Okay, that's that, this letter. Alright, that there. Dear Mr. Keane, your email dated 14th of May has been referred to me as indicating dissatisfaction with the original decision made by the authority on your complaint. The letter already sent to you indicated that the authority took the view that this matter is best dealt with by the police and referred the matter for them to take such further action as they thought appropriate. This authority has very limited resources, and we are obliged to make the best use of limited funding and to prioritise the cases which we investigate independently ourselves. Really? So morals and ethics and all that sort of shit don't come into it. It's all down to money, isn't it? In this case, it seems to me still, on review, to be appropriate that the matter be referred back to the police for them to take such action as they see suitable and appropriate in the circumstances, and that has been done. I have written to the police requesting that they do this in your case. For the purposes of completion, I should add that I have viewed the video clip that you identified to the authority. I found nothing at all helpful on this which would change the decision I have come to. I do not intend directing that any further action be taken on your complaint for the above reasons. Signed by David. I respond to David with a nice notice telling them that I don't understand legalese and all the rest of it. This is one of my standard I do not understand notice. And then I've responded to him in this fashion. Greetings, David. I thank you for the time you have spent on this matter. However, referring it back to the wrongdoer's direct superior, a Senior Sergeant Bill Russell, to investigate was in itself laughable. The concept of sending a complaint to the police to investigate the police to see if the police have done anything wrong is illogical. I have spoken to more than one legal professional and as to which course of action to take in this matter. Most have stated that the corruption within the legal society is just how it is. Quote, "That's just how it is in New Zealand." I am told, and to seek any real form of redress, one should go to the ministerial level, which in itself again is a joke. That will go to the media. As John Key is the local MP, I don't expect anything will change. However, the facts remain the same. Neil Winterbottom, the man, caused myself, another man, injury, alarm, distress and harassment on the 21st of November 2014. I shall proceed with seeking private prosecution in competent court for remedy. I am sure you believe your decision is valid, David. However, I demand you to explain the reasoning and logic that brings you to this decision. On tape, my foot was clearly rolled upon. On tape, the man fled after committing vehicular assault. Under oath upon my cross-examination, Neil, Constable Winterbottom, was unable to give an explanation. Under affirmation on the 19th of May 2015 at Courtroom 4 North Shore District Court with Mrs. Horworth and Cave pre-siding, I gave evidence that the man, Neil Winterbottom, had caused my self-injury. The transcripts of which are currently being withheld from me by a Mr. Horworth, Justice of the Peace. I have spent over 4 years learning the legalese language and the ambiguity of these words used to attempt to govern mankind through the person, be it natural, legal, body, corporate, unincorporated body or corporation soul, and most of the compartmentalised members of mankind do not have a clue how they are controlled. I do not care what legal rule Neil believed I may have infringed upon. It did not give him authority over I am man. No joinder in equity was established, and I was not operating under any licence at that time. He had no right to cause my self-injury, and to date, by the ample actions of all the public servants, it is just hopeless and pointless to attempt to seek redress from a system where the rules of legislature are solely for the yous, and not for the they. I do note that your decision only strengthens the point that it all comes down to money. Funding, things such as ethics, honour, integrity, play second fiddle to. As always, I wish no harm to any fellow man, and bid yourself, David, a good day. By me. Okay? And just to make sure, because you see, on these emails they have this little warning shit, right? And the warning reads, contents of this message are not subject to legal rules of disclosure. Warning. This email, including attachments, is intended solely for the persons, or entity to whom it is addressed, and the information it contains is confidential in terms of the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988. Don't understand it. Any disclosure, retransmission, dissemination, or other use of this email may be unlawful. If you have received this email in error, please notify the sender or by return email, fax, telephone, and delete the email. Now, of course, I was concerned that I may be doing something wrong. It doesn't mean I have. So, as it's saying that on one line it's not subject to legal rules, and yet on the next line something may be unlawful if I do something with it, I wanted to get clarification. So I rung them up. Here's the call. Right. 0800.
Hello, you have reached the Independent Police Conduct Authority. Please note your call may be recorded. Please hold for assistance. Thank you. Please wait while your call is transferred. Independent Police Conduct Authority, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, who am I speaking with?
Rosemary.
Hi Rosemary, how are you?
Thank you, how are you?
Oh, I'm a box of fluffy ducks.
Oh, that's good.
Right, I have a question or a pondering that hopefully you can help me with.
Well, I probably can't, but I can put you through to someone who may be able to help you.
That's all
I'll
good.
put you through to one of our complaint assessors, okay?
Oh, that'd be fine. Yep.
Okay, just a moment.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Independent Police Conduct Authority, Ruth speaking.
Hi, Ruth. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. In fact, I'm a box of fluffy ducks. I've got a couple of queries I'm hoping you can help me with here. Myself and through my person, I've filed a complaint in regards to a man who was acting as a police constable who ran over my foot back in November. And I filed a complaint to the IPCA back in January, and a couple of months later, after it had been forwarded through to the police to investigate the police to see if the police had done anything wrong, I got a response back that I wasn't really too favourable of. In fact, I was basically insulted. So what I did is I made a complaint to the management of the IPCA. I was corresponding with a K. Irvine, and I don't know whether that's a man or a woman. They wouldn't identify themselves. And then 2 months after that, in other words, just July the 16th, I've received an email from a judge, Sir David Carruthers. Is he the head of it there, is he?
He is.
He is. Okay, now David's made some decisions, and I need to know the reasoning and logic behind those decisions. He's given me a monetary thing saying that you've got limited resources and that sort of jazz, and you're not going to go chasing up everything, even though I've supplied video evidence of the man running onto my foot. I feel that there's been not a true investigation, because like the first investigator didn't even take a victim impact statement from me. I would have thought that's the first rule if you're going to investigate a complaint, is to take a statement from the victim. Wasn't done. So it says here on this email that contents of this message are not subject to legal rules of disclosure. And then straight after that it says that it may be unlawful. Does that mean that it is unlawful, or that it is going to be illegal? Because if it's not subject to legal rules, how can it be unlawful? So basically, because, I've found no justice through the Ministry of Justice system whatsoever. I mean, I've gone to court and challenged the actual issues that the constable had that day, and I actually got quite a favourable result. But in regards to the alarm, distress, harassment and assault that was caused upon me by Constable Winterbottom that day, I've got no justice whatsoever. And of course I'm big on the Court of Public Appeal and Public Justice, and I have a few YouTube channels that I've made all of this very public on. So clearly I want to make sure that if I choose to read out these emails from David, that it's not illegal. As it says here, it's not subject to legal rules, so am I likely to get in trouble? Because it says may, and I know may isn't a certainty, so...
No, it is, from my understanding, and I'm not kind of a specialist in this particular area.
Are you legally trained, Ruth?
My role here is more just as a complaints assessor, so...
So you're not legally trained, or you are?
I'm not
Okay.
giving legal advice. I'm not allowed to give legal advice.
So you're not a member of the Bar Association or legally trained to understand legalese at all? Legislation's written in legalese. It's written in legal jargon. You've got to be a lawyer to understand it, which is why you need legal representation. So I'm just asking whether or not you had the training to comprehend the legalese within this stuff.
I have been trained in the law, but I'm not a practicing lawyer.
So you've been trained in legislation?
Advice.
Okay, cool. Because, there's 30 different types of law.
Yeah.
Law's an all-encompassing term, and I'm talking about legislation, not law. So, am I going to get in trouble if I go ahead and make this public? Because I'm not pleased with David's answers either. I think that just because of a monetary issue, ethics and morals shouldn't take a back seat to it.
Okay.
And David's not responded to me in the last 10 days.
Right, yeah.
So if he's not going to respond, then I'll just go ahead and consider it a tacit agreement that I can do whatever I wish.
Well, I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best way to go.
Can
I get your name so I can look up your file?
Sure. I can give you the IPCA number if you like. IPCA number is 14-1245 :RJT.
Okay. And so the letter is written in under the name Mark Keane, is that right?
Yeah, that's my person.
Okay. I'll just have a look and see if I can kind of catch myself up on the file, because I'm not familiar with your particular file.
Cool. Just, I've spent 4 years studying all the different types of legal systems, lawful systems, societal structures, and I've had more than one duty solicitor get up and walk out on me because they couldn't keep up with what I was trying to tell them, even though it's their language I'm speaking. So, the whole being told it's not legal, subject to legal rules, and then in the next breath saying that it may be unlawful, well, I need to know the distinguishable difference between illegal and unlawful, for a start.
Okay, I can give you my initial response to that, but what I'd like to do is go away and have a look at it.
Sure, by all means.
My initial response would be that it's saying it's not subject to disclosure.
Yeah.
So you understand the court, typically when you have a court process, is the process of disclosure or discovery.
No, I don't understand any of it, but I've been told that I've got the right to, as a party to the proceedings, whether I choose to represent as a person, that I do have the right to full disclosure. That's what I am understanding of. So if I write into the police and ask for any and all documentation in regards to the matter, they have to send it to me if I'm a party to it.
So under the IPCA Act, we have certain privileges with respect to secrecy, which in certain situations mean, as my basic understanding, that disclosure may not be required or may not be allowed. So what I think...
but that's under the that's under the Police Conduct Authority Act 1988, is that? Are you there?
Yes, sorry, I'm just trying to double check the year.
I'm just reading what it says here on the email, the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988. I'm just curious as to how that applies to me. I'm not acting in a public capacity. I'm not a member of the Independent Police Conduct Authority, so that has no force and effect over me whatsoever.
It's to do with the documentation, but as
okay.
I'm not particularly familiar with this area, and I'm not really prepared to give you legal advice.
Yeah, that's fine.
My suggestion is I will go away and ask.
Yeah, I'm curious, because like I say, I've from day one, and it's mainly because I captured the initial interaction with the officer on the side of the road on film, and like I say, as I've spent a lot of time over the years studying all of this, I've made every step of the way what I've done public, going from contacting the legal aid services to Citizen Advice Bureau to Justice of the Peace to IPCA to North Shore District Court to, everything is online, and I've made because as far as I'm concerned, it's all of public interest, and you guys are all acting within the public capacity, so there is no expectation of privacy in a public place. So that's kind of why I'm trying to get, why is there some illusion that there is some sort of privacy when David's acting in a public capacity.
So I'll just double check, is your email address?
No, and in fact I corrected that with Bill Russell the first time, because see, that's what happened. He tried to respond to the email that I first sent on the 7th of January to the IPCA. He tried to respond back to that and had no luck. Apparently he's got some issue with the mail server or something. But what I did do, because he sent it to me in a letter form in the end to respond to me, which is how I found out that the email wasn't working. My correct email, if you want to contact me on it.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll have a chat with some of the people here, ask whether or not there's anything which would preclude you from putting this information up on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did respond to this email to David, like I say, back on July the 17th here, 10 past 8 or 10 past 11 in the morning, and I did actually give him notice right at the start of the email, and I'll just read out what the notice says. It says, I, a man, do not understand legalese, legal meanings, legal terms and or customs of within the legal society, and that I rescind anything I have or have not said, or my actions and or inactions that may indicate that I'm other than a man. In other words, I'm not being a person, I'm just being a man equal to any other. So I require someone to tell me where they derive their authority to tell me what I can and can't do. If we're all equal before the law, who are they to tell me what I can and can't do?
Okay.
Do you get the concept of what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Of what you've said will be on the file.
Cool. Well, I mean, it's all being recorded anyway.
Well, I'll go away and ask about your query, and I will get back to you via email as soon as I can, okay?
That would be fantastic, Ruth. I really appreciate your time, eh?
Not a problem. Thanks for your call, Mark.
Have an awesome day.
You too. Bye.
See ya.
In response to that interesting conversation, I got very promptly back, I might add, today on the 27th of July at 3 o'clock I got a response. Good afternoon. Following our telephone conversation, I've spoken with my manager. I can advise that they, so it's one manager or multiple? I can advise that they do not see any issue with you publishing the letter you received from Sir David on your YouTube channel. So, just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get in trouble from anyone, because it's not like I am. Unless I'm telling myself off, I'm not going to get in trouble with anyone. My wife's the only other one that could put my balls in a bunch. This basically means post whatever you like. Okay, I will. So, that's the end result of the IPCA. Chase it since January, it's now July, so 6 months of emails backwards and forwards waiting, only to be insulted, disgusted and let down by the entire fucking system. And you guys can clearly tell from the video that I've posted all from day one that Neil did run over my foot. It fucking well hurt.
What she can have back. You're not walking away from me, buddy. You're not walking away from me. You're not walking away from me. Oi! What are you doing? Excuse me? Don't walk away from me. You can have this back. Don't you try and run me over, mate. Don't you dare. You're running over my foot right now. Back off. You're on my toe. Look at this. He's run. Get off my fucking toe. You're moving forward. Back up. Get off my toe. You are. Get off of my toe. You evil man. You're being done for assault.
And unfortunately, of course, they're not going to say sorry, they're not going to apologise, they're not going to accept any sort of responsibility for what he's done, because that's admitting liability and leaves himself open. You know, I'm more than happy to accept any apology and forgive anybody for their trespass upon me, as I would expect any other man or woman to forgive me for my trespasses. You know, but you know, that just goes to show, if you're a citizen in a nation, you're fucked. They don't care. You know. Anyway, I'll leave you with it. Soon up, I'm going to be making a clip with all of the documentation, to and fro correspondence to deal with the speeding ticket and failure to produce a licence. They supplied me quite a lot. They supplied me my entire criminal history and traffic history. They supplied a lot of stuff that they didn't re-enter. And bear in mind, the clip that I'm going to put up with all the evidence, or lack of, that New Zealand Police supplied when I asked for any and all documentations, all of the correspondence to do with any person and the police before a defended hearing doesn't mean jack shit. Alright? It doesn't matter what they send you or what you send them. Because when you walk into that defended hearing and when those doors close, that's when the matter is heard. That's when the case is presided upon. That's when Neil or whoever enters in whatever paperwork he may have supplied me beforehand. He will then re-enter it as evidence, as Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. So it doesn't matter what scary documents, because what Neil didn't do is he didn't hand over my entire traffic history and my entire criminal history on the day of the hearing. All he did was hand over a certificate of accuracy, his competency certificate that you'll see. But but he didn't hand over all of the documents that he'd supplied me. The reason they do this, they even had a certified document from someone from the NZTA saying that I'm a current licence holder. And the reason they did that is because the licence is where they derived the authority. Now, I know all of this. I'm asking them to see if they fucking know. I'm not a stupid prick. I know what I'm doing, and I really have a grasp and a comprehension of how it all works. I understand none of it, but I comprehend what's going on. So, that's coming up next. Enjoy. See you later.